Hi, you guys. Well, let's see. In this journey, I wanted to bring you guys with me, kind of a production vlog for the making of the feature film, The Space Between Us. And I wanted to try to be as real and authentic and transparent as possible, because that's like a big thing for me. And I almost skipped this installment. I thought, there's someone else can take this slot, that's fine. And then I realized that wouldn't be honest. So, the idea, my first vlog covered, just how the idea came about, how the project came about. And the second idea covered me creating the proposal to take that idea to a full-fledged kind of a plan, and then pitching that plan to everyone involved to see if they were still interested. The next step is writing the script, and I was scheduled to do that the last 2 weeks of December of 2017. And I'm recording this today on December 30th. I've said before, I'm not a fast writer, but also with film, but I think with novels too, I really push the people who work with me not to particularly write fast, because you actually want meat. You want to really bring a full, nutritious meal to the table with a novel, with a script. And because I write in modular method, so I'm actually planning my shots as I go, I don't want to just throw shots on a page. I want to really consider what shot is best for this. It's not just all mid-shot, close-up, mid-shot. There's not like a formula that you should follow, because the viewer can actually become fatigued and they can become apathetic. Because it's like, oh yeah, I know what's coming. So they kind of tune out. I never want my viewers to tune out. So I give a lot of thought when I'm writing a script. But I thought 2 weeks would be leisurely, and even at my slower writing pace. And also I would be able to handle my day job. A couple of days after I decided that that's how we were going to do things, since that is the next step to write the script, I realized that my last 2 weeks of 2017 were going to be packed with primarily editing. So that's, my day job, editing. And also with managing our YouTube channel, which we are trying to do something that's a little bit different. Instead of trying to fit into the YouTube mold, we're kind of using the YouTube platform as a way to create almost like a Hulu or Amazon Video on Demand or Netflix, but that is free. We know there are other independent streaming services out there that also charge people, but we're trying to create original series on a channel that people can access, all different genres, with writers from all walks of life and for viewers from all walks of life, but that is free, because not everyone can pay for those monthly subscription services. And that doesn't mean that they don't deserve something more than just skit comedies or product try-on, videos. And those are awesome genres. They're fun to watch. They're great escapism. But I wanted to be able to bring original series to the YouTube platform, not just YouTube Red, but just plain YouTube. And that takes a lot more than just checking comments daily or making sure the channel is advertised. I wanted to make sure that we had the right content. So anyway, long story short is my day job kind of eclipsed any new creative endeavors. And also, we have a priority system, and we actually posted a whole PDF of all the projects broken into, talk about transparency, right? Of all the projects in 2018 broken into priority tiers. And it's most of the priorities are not a personal thing, but rather who's been waiting longest and what projects are fully funded and ready to go. So you might say, well, A Space Between Us, the funding is already there. boy, isn't that like your top one priority? But that can't always be. Money doesn't always talk. Sometimes we have to do other things first. So I guess for today's vlog, what I wanted to share with you guys is that sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes a project doesn't get to move forward, and is in a holding time. But I didn't want to just skip that. I didn't want you guys to say, oh, when she says she's going to do something, everything just moves forward. Well, there's a lot of things that I'm doing, and sometimes where my heart is and where my creative brain isn't where I get to write. And I think that's really vital too. There's a friend that I follow on Facebook. Actually, I think I had this year 8 friends who did the whole write a novel in November exercise that a lot of people do every year. And the best of my friends and the ones I really respect are the ones that use that time as a fun time to write a first draft, and they know that then they're going to spend months and months and months after that refining that manuscript. But I've also often spoken out against November being this particular novel writing month, because I'm like, it's a really hard month for people. And maybe that's the point, is to give you a creative endeavor to focus on, but it's so packed. And if you have kids or you have an extended family that you're catering to, November's like the worst possible month to try to cram writing a novel into it. And I always say, just pick a month. You know what your year is normally like. Pick your slowest month and try to write a novel in that month, and maybe it can strip away some of that stress. But I watched one particular friend of mine really struggle with the novel she had told herself she was going to write in November, and then the novel that wanted her to be writing it in November. And that is often the situation that I find myself in. I am not a loyal journaler. I don't every day journal the way some people do, privately journal. But when I do, it's usually thoughts that I just want to put down on paper, realizations that I've come to that I want to remember. And I journaled recently that sometimes spending an 8 or 10 or 14-hour shift answering messages and answering email and drafting contracts and revising other people's scripts just kills it. Like, it bleeds me dry. And I get to the end of the day when maybe I have an hour put aside that I'm supposed to be able to do my own personal writing, which is right now for me, that's where the space between us falls, because that's how connected I feel to the project. It doesn't feel like work to me. The crazy cuckoo clock. It's 4:16 right now, and the crazy haunted cuckoo clock just told me it was 1. The space between us for me falls into that amazing category of personal writing for me right now, because I feel so incredibly, intensely, and personally connected to it. And it's just so amazing to have a project where a friend turns to you and says, why are there no holiday inspirational, family friendly, Hallmark type films with lesbian couples at the center? That simple sentence, it just pushed me down this rabbit hole of inspiration. And I feel so blessed to have people in my life that trust me enough to come to me and say those sentences and then look at me like, did I just inspire you? That's so incredible. I feel so honored and blessed that people like what I write, and that makes me feel really, really good. But I do see it as a personal thing right now, and I know that it will get to shift into a work thing, which means then it will get scheduled hours. But for right now, it had to be put aside, and that was tough. That was tough. And every time I'm sitting there and I'm writing these other scripts, for projects that I was contracted for earlier during these last 2 weeks of December, that was really tough. Or just projects that we were obligated to get out. That was really tough, but everything got out. And we were able to add, the 8-episode mini-series Lord's House to our YouTube channel. And so folks can see that. It's a musical. It's really intense, and it's really wacky, and it's the dichotomy there is really fascinating. We were able to put 12 episodes of Gentleman Longlegs out there, and that was amazing. Don't grow where Don't Grow Where You're Planted was a short that I helped shepherd through the process during these 2 weeks. The call is coming out. I think Sound Crossing had already come out. I'm trying to think of just the stuff in these 2 weeks. So some amazing stuff happened that is worthy stuff, and I feel passionate about that, but I wish that this vlog could be about me saying that the space between us had taken another step forward, and it hasn't. So again, just with honesty and transparency, there we go. Anyway, my phone is blowing up with emails and messages that want to be answered, and people asking for video chats and all kinds of stuff that I don't have time for today. So I think I'll go deal with that. But thanks for continuing to take this journey with me, and I hope that my next installment I'll get to share that something more has happened. Thanks, you guys.